Welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher. So let's jump right into it. We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is going on, guys? What are you guys doing? It is a Saturday night here on the East Coast. This is like an impromptu live stream, man. I had nothing going on today. A couple of people are sick in my house, so I figured why not come on and just hang out for a little bit. I really have nothing going on. So you guys don't know who I am. My name is Lawrence. I'm over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles here on YouTube. You can find me at Mighty Comics _ Collectibles on Instagram as well. So if you haven't checked out my channel before, do yourself a favor, hit that sub button, smash that like button. A lot of good stuff happens here at the channel. If you guys don't know, right? If you don't know, let me get out of this sharing for a second. There you go. When we hit 5,000 subs right now, and I think we're at 46 and change at the minute, I'm giving away this awesome copy of Iron Man #1. All right. Now I know it's low grade, it's a beater, but you know what? Still an Iron Man 1, man, right? You can't complain with an Iron Man 1. So with that said, I think that you guys should definitely hit that sub button, because once we hit the 5,000, one of the lucky subs out there is getting this book. And again, just a cool book to have in the collection. Wanted to remind you guys of that. So that's it, really. We're just kind of hanging out tonight. We're going to get into a bunch of different topics. Like I said, an impromptu live stream. So I wanted to talk up again about the CGC price increases. We're going to talk about CBCS a little bit and what their pricing is for certain books. Some hot comics out there that you guys may be buying or that anyone out there is looking to buy. I want to hear about it. And of course, I always take your questions and answers. I always take your questions and I give the answers if I can. So don't forget to always shout out and give me whatever you got out there in the YouTube community. I also have a couple of channel announcements to get also to tonight, so we'll do that as well. But I want to say to the few that are in the chat right now, I have Vinny Whitlock. What's going on, pal? How are you? And of course, Macedon. Haven't seen you in a bit, man. Thanks for joining. We're just kind of hanging out tonight, talking about anything comics you guys want for the next hour or so. But we're going to start tonight talking about the CGC price increases, and we'll go over them again. I also have some stuff that I picked up from a local show I went to today. Well, not so local. And I went to Zap Comics last week and picked up some amazing Spider-Man books. I'll show you guys those as well. But again, I want to start with the CGC announcement that we had about increasing prices. Again, not terrible, but what got me, if you guys haven't watched my rant that I did earlier this week, was the eliminating of tier, because that was really like, I don't want to say it's unfair, but that's really what it is. I mean, if you're going to go ahead and increase prices, it's fine. I think most companies, when they get to a point that they're very busy and they have a lot of influx of business coming through, that's how they operate. They're going to increase prices to kind of slow down the amount of submissions that are coming in. I think that's what they usually do. So again, I think somebody mentioned out there in the community that this is the 5th increase in prices in 2 years, which to me, I think that's crazy. I know inflation's one thing. I know hiring people is another thing, but 5 times in 2 years seems a little bit like they're taking advantage. But again, I don't work for them, so I'm not going to go ahead and say that. But eliminating a tier was the biggest thing for me. So these are the new changes, and I'll throw them up there. The modern tier went from 24 to 25. Not a big deal. Economy they changed the name. Who cares? It went to 35 to 37. Again, not a lot of money, but $37 to submit a book that's under $400. That's a lot of money, man. In my opinion, just for somebody to go ahead and slap a grade on it and encapsulate it in a case that I always wondered what it costs CGC to make those cases per case, and the fact that they have them made. I couldn't even tell you. Probably I would think hundreds of thousands of them at a time just to have blank cases available, I would think. So I don't know what they really cost. The standard tier went up $5 from 80 to 85. Again, a lot of money for a book that's under $1,000. You're going to spend almost 10% to grade that book, which is a lot of money. And of course, the express tier, which is the worst of it all, was eliminated. So any book over $1,000 got the 4% tag now. Went from 3% to 4% tag. It is walkthrough now, though. That's the only thing probably positive, that should come back quicker, but remains to be seen once these things hit. Are the times going to get pushed back? I have no idea, but it's worth noting and worth watching. Okay. But 4%, and it's a minimum $150 fee. I didn't mention that. Minimum $150 to send stuff in that's $1,000 or more. So keep that in mind. It's just, I said on my rant that a $2,000 book, you're paying $150. That is basically a 7.5% fee that you're paying on that book. It's just almost not worth it at that point to send books in. I mean, unless you want to buy raw like I do, um, either keep it raw, or there are other options we're going to talk about today. If you do want to encapsulate your books, there are self encapsulating slabs out there now that you can go ahead and buy for probably for a little bit cheaper, but you don't get the definitive grade. Now, we all know about some of the stuff that's gone at CGC, gone on, like the all the quality control issues, lost books, stuff like that. I did hear about a lawsuit that was going on right now. I can't say anything about it because I don't know much about it, nor would I. But regardless, I know something's going on with some books out there that somebody's trying to sue them for. But other than that, it's to each his own. If you guys are still, like I said on my video, I was always been the biggest CGC supporter. Still think they're the best of the three, major grading companies out there. So that's just my opinion. Always going to get more bang for your buck when getting and slabbing and then selling those books, because they are CGC books. They do command a premium compared to the other ones. But again, I also mentioned in that video that I think CBCS is dropping the ball because not changing their label. Their turnaround times have not been as good. They may have gotten better. I'm not too sure. We're going to take a look actually in a little bit. But I just, for the way the market is going and a lot of people out there hunting for raw books now, I think this came at the worst possible time. So that's just my opinion, and I wanted to come on here and talk about it a little bit tonight. So let me know your opinions in the chat tonight. What are your thoughts on it? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. A lot of people commented on that video, agreeing with me. We had a couple people out there disagreeing with me, telling me to shut the hell up and, that I sound petty. I don't sound petty. I'm trying to tell people not to spend the money on grading certain books because it's a waste of money. And I don't want to see anybody out there waste money. So that's that. So we're going to go through the comments a little bit. Just picked up a Knight Rider set 1 through 5. So those are books I don't see too often. So very cool. Congrats. Jim, how you doing, bud? Good to see you hanging out tonight. Flexopotamus, you as well. I'm kind of confused. For over 1,000 books, is the minimum plus 4%, or does the 4% kick in after it hits the minimum, like 150? So if it's $150 minimum. So normally, on $1,000 book, if it's 4%, that would only be what, $40, right? So instead of collecting $40 to grade the book, they're going to say no, because it's only 1,000. We have to charge you $150 minimum. So if 4% is over $150, then they'll charge you the 4%. If it's under 150, they will charge you 150. So that's how it's going to work. Mark, how you doing, buddy? Declining valuation will act as a demand deterrent for them. I do not believe they had to raise rates to do that. Also, raising rates while book valuations are declining makes one question the return on investment. So I agree with you 100%. It didn't make sense. That's the first thing I said when I did the video, is it doesn't make sense to raise rates right now with comics on the decline. Why would you want to eliminate a tier? It's twofold, and I mentioned this in my video. One is because as I started off the video off saying tonight, is as companies get busier, they're saying, why am I charging this for my service when I can get a lot more and stop the volume that's coming in? So if the volume of stuff being submitted starts to decline, I think prices will stabilize. If people start sending the same amount of stuff in, even though the price increase have occurred, they're going to raise prices again. The other thing that I threw out there was the fact that, who does this help? A couple of other YouTubers out there mentioned that dealers right now are having trouble selling slab books because people are thinking, buying raw is a little bit cheaper because they try to find deals, stuff like that. So by raising pricing on CGC grading for 1,000 and over, that kind of eliminates people out there from sending some books in because maybe it's a little bit too expensive. So they're saying to themselves, well, maybe I'll just buy something that's already been slabbed. And I think a lot of people do that anyway for more expensive books. I'm the opposite. I like to find deals. So if I could find a book out there, a raw book that's a little bit undergraded, that I think, they have it graded at like a 4.0, but I actually think it's a 5.0 or 5.5. That to me is always fun, right? We're trying to make deals. We're trying to, make money. We're trying to buy books we want to buy. So they're kind of eliminating that by eliminating that value tier. So I brought it up. I'm not saying that that's what was going to happen, but it's something that I thought of when it occurred. Too much faith has been placed in these grading companies for something that an experienced collector, and there are many of us, can do, in my opinion. 100% agree. If you learn to grade yourself, and that's been my mantra since the beginning, you will do well. Now, there are things out there that are tough to spot, like restoration, especially like trimming. If it's a slight trim, it is really tough to tell sometimes. So, color touch is a little easy. If you get yourself a nice black light, you can probably see through some of the pages, see what's been done. If you're not familiar with certain other aspects of restoration, that may be difficult as well. So, that's a service they do offer, but at what price? People can try the raw grading that CBCS offers and slab it afterwards in the graded Mylar. Not 100% fix, but an option, I guess. So, Vinny, I'm glad you brought this up because that's one of the things I wanted to touch on tonight was the CBCS slabs and the raw grading itself, because the pricing for raw grading is actually not that bad. I know Jason over at Omega Collects, he does it all the time. And if you like having books in Mylar, and I think having books in Mylar is absolutely beautiful. And I think they're easier to store as well, in my opinion. Sometimes whenever I go to show, I get a feeling if you look in a slab box with all slabs, I hate looking through them. It's not, I enjoy looking through um, raw comic boxes. I don't like looking through raw slab boxes. I don't know why. Just a thing I get. I usually only buy raw books. If I can get a deal on a slab, I will grab it. Yeah. I that's how I am too. I mean, a bigger books, you might want to buy a slab. And I've always said that because you're protecting yourself when it gets to a certain dollar amount. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that, buddy. The bronze page. How are you, bud? Hey, bro. Are comics as cold as they seem when you look on eBay? Well, all I get is offers to buy at lower prices, and I see some buy it nows on there for a long time. Right now, I think there's a little bit of a fear out there in the community that nobody wants to catch the falling knife. When I say that, as the books are still coming down, a lot of people don't want to bite the bullet and kind of go out and pay up for a book that they still think might drop some more. So that's what I'm seeing. I went to a show today, and I want to get into that as well because I picked up something from the show. And I got to tell you, there weren't a lot of comic dealers. There was a lot of toys there, a lot of toys, which is great. I love toys too, but a couple of dealers were priced okay, and then there was a couple of dealers that were insane. Like I'm talking about, they had like mid-grade Fantastic 452, first appearance of Black Panther for like $2,000. Now a mid-grade book is probably like $600-700 around there. So a lot of them were on another world's pricing level. So I think a lot of people are looking to cash out, and they're still looking to cash out as the market is coming down. A lot of books are being listed everywhere, not just eBay. So, but I always say, if you're in the long game like I am, and if you're willing to hold and you're a collector, and that's why I entitled that video "A Real Collector." If you're a real collector and you hold on to books and not selling everything, then or try to flip, then now's a great time to buy, because if you're a holder, you're going to get some great prices in the next 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 years. Those books are going to go up in value. I don't know how much, but they will go up in value. I'm slimming down my collection 100%. So I'll be the first person to tell you that, because I'm trying to recoup some money, because you guys know I bought some Biggs book recently, but I want to slim my collection down to books that I have affection for. I think that's, at the end of the day, if you collect everything in sight, you lose the attachment to certain things, and I don't want to lose that. It's part of history. It's part of who I am. Let me stop sharing this for a second. It's part of who I am, so on and so forth. So I think that's why we get into it, because of the history, because of the love of the characters. John Band, how you doing, bud? From the Windy City. Vinny says slab it with other options, not just CGC. And again, we're going to get into that as well in a little bit. That's my method as well, Vintage Gizmo. I like the raw books, and inspect the books and or rather read them as well. Well, that's depending on the book. Yeah, I mean, I would never crack open an AF-15 and then read it, because I'd be just panicked. But yes, I agree. I actually love looking through the pages of especially Silver Age books because they're so much different from the stuff you see now. Just I always say this when the industry itself died when they changed the paper. Like it's not like it was anymore, and that's to me is a big deterrent. I know the stories are a lot shorter, they're a lot simpler, not a lot of success out there with certain characters, but that's to me when it went. Kenneth Bird, what's going on, bud? Brad Brad Example, great name, great name. Hello, everyone. First timer here. I was wondering if anyone is reading the new Silver Surfer books. I have them pulled from me at the comic shop, but I have not been able to pick them up yet. I can't answer that one. So if someone out there for Brad can answer that to him, that would help him out. You're in that. More neon lights, less comics, stage of collecting. Ha ha ha. Yep. I've actually had this. It was just in a different portion of our room, but I moved it behind me so we can kind of see it. I think lowering the lights in here because it's a really small room. Somebody asked me to do another room tour, which I will do sooner rather than later. I'll show you guys what I got going on in here again. But yeah, it's slimming down my collection. So I have a lot of doubles of early Amazing Spider-Man. So I'm selling off my doubles to fund some of the books that I recently purchased and narrowing my stuff down to a few bigger keys. First timer, John Aguilar. How are you doing, buddy? Just copped an ASM 129 8.0 for 1900. I think that's a good deal. At one point, that book was closing in, I think, on $3,000. So it's definitely dropping. So, and that grade. So congratulations. Is one of my favorite books. One of the 5 Bronze Age keys I definitely want to own. So hold on to that one. Thoughts on House Secret 92. It's starting to warm up to me. So I've always loved the book. That to me is the Swamp Thing book that you want to own, in my opinion. Great cover, iconic in my opinion. But also, just to mention, that book is going to be coming up on the not this Monday's eBay sales, but the following week's eBay sales because I had to take a look at a copy that was out there that just sold, and it was a nice copy, a raw copy to boot. So we're going to take a look at that one in the next couple of weeks and see how that person did. But I love the book. Obviously, it's a Bronze Age book, so that you want the higher the grade, the better. But you don't have to go out and get the highest grade. Get the highest grade that you can afford if it's a keeper for you. But I love the book. One of the better DC books out there. And as you guys know, I always say, like, all DC keys are not created equal. There are certain ones that I think are buys 100%, and there are certain ones I'd be staying away from. Mark, how you doing, pal? Agree with you 100%. I cannot understand why CBS does not use this or prior opportunities to grab market share. Listen to potential customers. Tell us your value, our opinion, and change the label. I agree. Go watch that video. If you guys haven't, I know Mark has, obviously. Go watch that video because I bring up a great point to the end of that video. See, I had a conversation with somebody at CBSCS, and they told me they don't want to change anything, which I think you have opportunity. I ended that Superman 1 video saying, when you have opportunity, you kind of have to go out and grab it. CBCS has a great opportunity right now to kind of go out and become number one, right? Become number one. And maybe they don't want to. Maybe they want to focus on baseball cards and cards in general because Beckett owns them and they do a lot of cards. So we're going to go through some of the pricing here in a minute for them, but they have an opportunity. So let's take a look at this for a second. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger. I don't know if this will work here. I can, how's that? This way you don't have to look at me. There we go. So we're just only going to look at the gradings. Okay. So 2001 to present books, they have standard, tiers now, which I think is actually a really good idea. So you can do a 30-day standard, which is $22, a 20-day priority, $32, and a 10-day express for $40 on 2001 to present, which is $1,000 max value. Now, what was CGC? It was $37 for anything up to, I'm sorry, it was $85 for anything up to $1,000. Okay. How much difference is that? Even if we did the 20-day, which is probably around the same time as CGC, I would think for that value, $32 as compared to $85. Now we're just talking about money. Now this is a present book, 2001 to present, fine. So we're only going to take in modern books, basically, all modern books. Now they have a modern tier, which they're calling 1975 to 2000. That to me is not modern. I don't know how they label that modern. It's bronze and copper, really. So that's what they probably should call it, bronze and copper, but whatever. So again, max of $1,000, 30-day is 24, so $2 more than the new books. 20-day priority is $34 compared to, again, $85 for CGC. You're saving $50. You can go out and if you sent 10 books in that price range, that's $500 you're saving just on grading for $1,000 book. Now, this is only the era still, so keep that in mind. But a Bronze Age book, like, I actually think ASM 129 was probably before 75. I think it's 73, so that wouldn't go into that tier. So I'm not gonna. We'll go and we'll use. But again, look at this. The 10-day is also $40 no matter what. So let's go to vintage pre 1975 because that includes most of the 5 bronze keys that I talk about all the time. So again, it's $40 for 20-day. $40 compared to CGC's 85. That's $45 times 10 books. Let's just say you're sending in, that's $450 you're saving. That's a lot of money. So why wouldn't CBCS want to change their label? Doesn't have to be exactly like CGC, but when I talked to the guy, I mentioned to them, if you look at their one, I'm not crazy about the font. The font of the label is, to me, I don't like the font. So fine. If you change the font to something that's a little bit more thicker, a little more able to read, I think that'd be better. But also, what gets me the most is when you look at the number of the grade that they give it, there's no CGC has a white background. And I think that's just more aesthetically pleasing. Whereas CBCS is all blue and there's a blue bars in the top and blue bars at the bottom. I should have brought a picture, but I don't have one. And I don't have any CBCS books right now, I don't think. No, I do not. So there's like, I don't want to say holographic bars at the top as well, like dividing the two, but they're shiny. So I don't care. But if you change those to white and wherever they have the holographic or shiny parts of the label, just change that to white and give me a white background with a different font. The book will look better and it will present better. And that's, to me, at least, like, if you're going to slab a book, you want it for, number one, to be secure. That's why you're slabbing it, right? You want it to be safe. You don't want nothing to happen to the book. But you also want to look at it and be like, wow, that looks great. It drives me nuts when I get a CGC book back and the number and the wording, like off white to white or cream to off white or whatever it is, it's off center. Like, it drives me nuts. I hate it. So just a little change like that by CBCS would go a long way. It's not just about money. It's about aesthetically pleasing. You're going out and you're spending a lot of money on books or whatever you spend on a book that you want to have it slabbed, you want to keep in your collection, and it looks like shit in that thing because of the label. And now the case, I think, is fine. Like, I like the cases. It's a little bit slimmer than CGC's. In my opinion, it's a little bit thinner plastic as well, which it's fine. It's no big deal. That doesn't kill me. The label needs to be more aesthetically pleasing. If they fix that, I'm telling you right now, just that one little thing will get them such a big boost in people sending books in. I can guarantee you that. And if anybody ever watches it from CBSCS again, you're talking to a collector who collects books. You have some bigger keys as well. So, like, why wouldn't you listen to us? Somebody who brought up the point, I think it might have been Mastodon, about, why would we do that? So we brought up the fact about raw grading. Okay. Raw grading. Now, this is an option for people out there who don't want to slab their books, but the prices for a vintage, and when I say vintage, it's comic books, I think it's 1975 and back, is $18. So $18, you don't have to get it in a slab. They put it in a Mylar, give it a grade with a sticker on it on the bottom. Now, the one thing about when you grade a raw book is that the grade is not guaranteed. What someone could open it, mess around with the book, and I get that. But if you know it's a PC book and it's not going anywhere, at least for a while, and someone can take a look at that book and agree with the grading at some point when you do try to sell it, that's all that really matters. And for $18 for a 30-day turnaround, and it's a 30 business days, so it's roughly about 50-something days, which is fine. You could pay a little more for a 20-day priority. I wouldn't suggest it for a raw book, but either way, that's an option. I think that for a lot of people out there, it makes a lot of sense. If you're not in love with slabs and you do want to have a definitive grade and make sure there's no resto or there's nothing missing, stuff like that, it's a cheap option. Because if you send 10 books in, for a vintage, it's 1975 or less, but in new and modern, it's 12. So, I mean, you can get 10 books graded for $180 plus shipping. So I think that's a great thing that they have. I wish more people took advantage of it. I myself, I'm comfortable with my grading. So I don't think I might try it. You never know. If I have my whole thing up here is all raw books. I have a raw section of just so I can aesthetically display them. And when I do the next room tour, I'll show you that again. But I wanted to show you guys the pricing because I do think that they're a good option if they change the label. And especially think that this raw grading, if you're not only crazy about slabs, that this is a good option as well. So you guys let me know your think. Is that something that you're interested in? I know maybe Vinny said it with the raw grading or Mastodon. Let's catch up on the chat while you guys answer that. I got to that one already. So Vinny says too many people are still on the 2021 prices. I don't get it because it's like they don't want to sell books. They just want to hang out. And which is great. I mean, if you want to spend the money to set up and hang out, like I'm going to be doing that, the Garden State Comic Fest in June 24th and 25th in Morristown. I wanted to hang out, meet new people, film. I am going to have books for sale, which I'll touch on a little bit as well, but get it. But if you're a dealer, you should want to move books. I got to some of these comments already. So let me go back to it. So J-Rock says he'd love to be updated slab wall video. I don't have too many slabs up there at the moment. Those two rows are what I have right now. I do have a new case you can see behind me. I have some of my bigger books in there, like my Batman 1, my Superman 1. I have a Tales of Suspense 39, and Amazing Spider-Man 129, and a ASM 3. That's one of my favorite Spidey books. And it's raw, too. So I just sold my graded copy. Hit that like button, man. Drive this thing up. Thank you so much, Maston. I appreciate that, bud. Desired, what's going on, bud? How are you? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I mean, the CBCS, it does get washed out. That's a big part of the display issue, in my opinion. So, I know I'm not the only one who says it to them. So, and I'm a small YouTube channel of 4,600. So, we need somebody like a Comic Tom to go out and say that to them and say, hey, someone with influence. I'm people may say I'm an influencer. I'm not. When I'm the size that I am, I'm not an influencer. I try to help where I can, and I tell you guys how I do things, and that's it. The logo I like with the shield. Is that what you're talking about, Jay? The shield. I don't mind that as well. But again, you know how it's holographic. I don't know the word for it, but it's like shiny. The shield. Just make that white. Make the outline white and inside holographic. How slick would that look? Right. You have the blue label and the bars going across are white. The white background behind the number. All the printing is still black, and then the shield. The inside part of the shield can be shiny, but the actual like shield itself can be just white. How awesome would that look? That would do wonders for the look of a slab. Derek D, what's up? I sent CBCS an unkind message about their label. It's ugly. It's sad. They won't listen. I know. We've all done it. That's the thing. I'm not the first one to do it. It's a big to do, but it boggles my mind. And I think because CBCS at one point was bought out by Beckett. Beckett's a huge company. They do a lot of sports cards, stuff like that. Maybe they're just not into comics. I have no idea. They don't want to make it a priority. I can't speak for them because it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like CGC, the priority is comics. CBCS, it's not the priority more. Sports cards is. For Beckett, anyway. I know that the division is under CBCS is all comics. So for me, most of my PC books, raw grading is an option for me. I think it's a great service. Yeah. And like I said, Jason from Omega Collects, he just sent a bunch of them in. I'm keeping most of my stuff raw. The only time I'm going to send something in is if it's like a really high value dollar book or something that absolutely needs protection. Like I had a Superman 6 that I recently sold. I sent that in because that book the front cover was detached. The back cover was detached. It needed to be in a slab. CBCS should follow Beckett's playbook, which was to become the premier grader for modern cards and basically don't even try and compete on vintage. The volume is mostly modern. I'd focus on that. See, you hit on something there where you're 100% right. The volume that's going into most of these grading companies now is modern stuff, which to me, I'm against it. Like you're spending so much money on a modern book that may not be worth the money you're spending to have it graded, right? Is it me or is my fuzzy here? There we go. Refocus. So I just don't get it. I don't get it. It made no sense. It makes no sense. Like I would think that the more the higher dollar valued book are the books that you'd want to slab, not vice versa. Now I know it's part of our hobby now to buy new, buy raw, coming out, and then try to get 9/8 and then resell them. That's part of the hobby. I think is here to stay. It's not going anywhere, and I think part of that is what's driving the the graded volume that's going through, and it's causing price increases for the books I think that are deserve, you know, to be graded. But that's just my opinion. So I don't look down on it. I know a lot of people do it. Like I said, it's part of the hobby. It's going here to stay. So it is what it is at this point. So, oh, you know what? You know what? I was going to show you that CBCS Shield logo because they have a thing on the site, but it's fine. Whatever. Whatever. So, couple things if you guys haven't checked out, I said this before. Iron Man 1, we're giving it away. We're 36 and change right now, at 300 and something away, and we are going to give that shit away. I cannot wait. Hopefully this time the person claims it within the first time, not like the third. Um, but you know, I might do another live one. We finally gave it away on a live show. I may do a live show and pick someone out of the comments, right? Like we did last time. I thought that was fun. Thank you, Mark, buddy. Appreciate it. Hey, guys, remember to hit the like button. Five like with 20 plus listeners is not where Lawrence should be. Give him a like. Takes us a little effort to hit that button. Smash that like button, guys. Get this video out there. Again, it's an impromptu session. I know that, but let's do it. All modern books should already be in mint condition if you're trying to sell, so no need to grade. I agree. Like I said, a lot of people are trying to get that 9.8 because that's where the book jumps. What I don't understand is that there are books that just come out, like that stupid Spider Boy variant cover, that people are already selling 9.8s. Like they don't even have the books back from CGC yet, and they're set. It's already out to be graded. The book came out like a week or 2 weeks ago. I don't understand. It makes no sense. So that's part of the market where it is right now and what the hobby's become. But it is what it is. Let me take this off because I want to show you guys what I picked up at the show. Now, I went to a show today called Collector Con. It was in Edison, New Jersey. Now, this place was jam-packed. Jam freaking packed. Toys everywhere. There's one giant room and a surrounding bunch of little rooms. Now, they had a ton of toys. Not too many comic dealers, but there were there. One was ridiculously priced, one or two ridiculously priced. And a couple of guys I saw at King Con, they were there. They were actually priced really well. They had a great deal where you can go ahead and buy any book and get $10 off. But you get $50 off if you spend 200 or more on each book, which I thought was great. I ended up not buying anything because, like I said, I'm trying to slim down my collection a little bit, but I did pick up something I thought was awesome. So there was an artist there by the name of Jeff Brennan that had some artwork for sale. And I saw this. This was Spider-Man artwork, and I was like, holy shit, it's pretty good. Spider-Man himself is okay, but the background of this thing, he has Spider-Man swinging to the city. I'll just show it to you. Look at this thing. That is just like picturesque. I wish he would have inked this thing, but other than that, the guy's name is Jeff Brennan. Very cool. Very, very cool artwork that I picked up. Just $80, nothing crazy. Thing that's crazy is he drew this on DC paper, which is another thing. It was like you could see it a little bit. It's really hard to see, but there's a little DC logo right there. But other than that, like this artwork is just, it's really cool. Like the background of New York City right there is breathtaking. He did such a great job with perspective, in my opinion. So if he ever goes to another show, make sure you check him out. His name is Jeff Brennan. Did an awesome, awesome job, man. Anytime I see like Spidey artwork that's like affordable and I like it, I try to pick it up. And I don't have a lot of artwork, but for $80 for a giant thing like that, I think it's really cool. So that was my only pickup. If I look for deals, if I could get a deal on a real book or slab, I'll pick it up. But if I can't, then I'm at the stage right now where I'm staying away. Yeah, man, this Iron Man, like I said, this is a raw copy. It's a beater. There's tape all over this thing, but it's a freebie. I mean, it's $100 book in this grade. It's $100 book, and we're gonna give it away because I always say like even though like a book is low grade, like it's still a key, man. It's Iron Man 1. Like, would you rather this or rather we give away like a 9.8 of some book that has no meaning? I don't know. Like I gave away a statue last time when we hit 4,000. So I wanted to give away something with meaning because that's what this channel is about, history and meaning and stuff like that. Oh, dude, you hit it right on the head, man. That Windows alone, like just for him to go and do all those buildings, that's what drew me to it. Not just because it was Spidey, because of the time he put for all that. That's what drew me right into that thing. Vinny says, I want to collect the premium issues that Marvel has by the end of the year, but finances say it's going to be a while longer than a few months. So I agree with you. It's tough. Like I'm doing an ASM run 1 to 300, and I'm going to show you. I'll just segue right into some of the books that I picked up from them when I was there, and I'll go quick because they're all like little books. 271, which they're cheap. 272. I like this cover though. Very cool. Split cover, top and bottom. Again, $6, 255, $6. This one was $12. 187, yellow cover with Captain America. So that's $12. Also, it's a higher grade copy. Another 12 one. I know you guys have seen this book before. This is 185. Beautiful cover, $10. Look at this, 178, $10. Spidey and Goblin fighting in the background. MJ taking care of Aunt May. Beautiful cover, $10. That's why I like Zap, because you can get stuff for relatively good prices. Great Scorpion cover, 146. 146 for $10. Awesome Scorpion cover. Here's a $12 one with the Hammerhead and Doc Ock. What is this? 159. 133 featuring the Molten Man. $12. This is 4 issues after Punisher, and in between 135, which is another great cover. So $12. So we're talking about in this grade, ASM 129 this is probably like a 5 to 6.0. 5 to 6.0 is like $1,400-$1,500 right now, but this is $12. Just it's crazy. And then this is my big pickup because they had this book, in my opinion, that's so cheap. So the reason why it was cheap is because the centerfold is detached, but it's complete. It's there. $25 for an FF72. Classic Kirby cover. One of my favorite Silver Surfer covers. This one, and of course, 4 great Silver Surfer covers. So $25 for that cover. How could you not do it? It's like you have to. Like when you have great prices for keys, and this is a key. I consider classic covers to be keys. You got to do it, right? I don't know. I don't know. John says he'd very have a meaningful key. I agree. Like you don't want to I don't want to give away something that's garbage. I hate to say that, but I'd rather buy a low grade book and have something that's a key. How you doing? I don't like comics. Hey, from Canada. I don't know about that one. I think you do like comics. I wanted to show you guys something before we go any further. Let's see if I can get it on the screen here. Give me 1 second, guys. Just sign into this thing because I don't know how else to get in here. All right, I'm in. So a lot of you guys saw this on me post. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted this. I think I might have posted it on YouTube as well, but I don't remember. You ready? So there you go. I made all new shirts, guys. These things are fucking awesome. Okay. If you want to support the channel, and by no means you do not have to, but these are some of the coolest shirts that you will ever see for any channel out there on YouTube. So if you support other channels, I think it's awesome, but there's no way you're getting what you're getting when you purchase this. And they're all ridiculously cheap on really comfortable shirts. So if you guys purchased a shirt from me before, these are phenomenal. So I want to go through all these and show them with you. I'll go through only the character ones that I've just done. And there's a total of 8 right here. So if you're a Batman fan, look at that. It's of course got the logo. I took my face off of there, guys, so you don't have to see my face anymore. But the Batman, Mighty Comics and Collectibles. How awesome is that? Each shirt is $17, except for the Spider-Man, which is $15. One of my favorites right now, I just ordered this, is the Reed Richards. Look at that. Look at quality. Such an iconic Mr. Fantastic. And all of them are like that. They come in any shirt color you want. Black, dark heather, navy, sport gray, and of course white. I thought I was doing other colors, but I wanted to stick to this t-shirt style because they're comfortable because I use this on my other one and they fit great and they're comfortable. That's more important to me. Look at that. Look at that. You're a Superman fan, man. Classic Superman over the Mighty Comics and Collectibles logo. This thing is freaking awesome. Again, every shirt has the same color, so you could choose whatever you want. But again, for 17 bucks to get a classic, this one's one of my favorite. Look at that. If you're a Punisher fan, this thing is freaking awesome. So support the channel, guys, if you are interested. It really does mean a lot to me. And you get some cool stuff, man. Like again, for 17 bucks, you're not getting any freaking quality for 17 bucks, but they're awesome. Here's a Hulk thing battle. The link to buy these things are actually in the description of this video. It's the first link there. So again, there's sweatshirts as well, but for right now, these characters I only put in t-shirts except for the Spider-Man because I wear the Spider-Man one, as you guys know, but I just ordered the Reed Richards. So this is what they look like. Let me stand up. I just thought it was awesome, man. It's such a comfortable sweatshirt from number one. The Spidey ones, sweatshirts and stuff, they're different colors. You could choose whatever you want. But the t-shirts I made like on certain colors only because I know the quality was really good. But these sweatshirts are awesome. So this is one of my favorites as well. The Wolverine one is absolutely spectacular. If you're a Wolverine fan, man, and you're a fan of the channel, obviously, this thing is awesome. And all these prints, I made sure that they were really crisp. The colors look great. The pixels will look great. So they were really they look really nice. I made sure. Again, you guys know I'm a huge Doctor Doom fan. We have a Doom one as well. It's the only villain on here for now. I may throw up other ones, but you guys let me know if there's other t-shirts you want with certain villains, certain heroes. I will do it. But I got all the major heroes. I'm going to do an Iron Man one. I forgot about Iron Man, so I will do that. And maybe a Thor as well. And of course, the Spidey you see I'm wearing, but the only one with the white Mighty Comics and Collectibles logo, because I didn't like the way the black look on it. But I thought the white looked better. Everyone else is black, though. I really wanted to show you guys this. I think they're freaking awesome. Some of the best stuff that you can get out there right now, in my opinion. And of course, you could choose your hero or your villain. So again, go to the link in the description. It's the first one. It says merch store. These are out there for you guys if you guys are interested. But I want to do something cheap and cool and comfortable for everyone out there. So I really appreciate that, guys. All right. So what else do we got tonight? What else do we got? There's other stuff we're going to talk about. We talked about CBCS. We talked about CGC. We talked about the show that I went to today, how prices are still out of fucking control. Excuse my French. On certain dealers. Some of them are great. Some of those guys are great. But the guys who want to move books and gals, they want to move books. Like I said, the guys who had the books offered $10 off each book, 50 off each book over 200. That's a steal. You're getting a $200 book for 150. That's a great job by them. And they were busy because they were one of the only people out there priced right. Oh, just to give you another thing about the shirts before we go any further, I only get a small portion of stuff from the sales. So the best part, I don't have to order them. Like I order them because I wear them, but I'm like a customer. I don't get a discount, so I buy them all and I keep them and I'm gonna wear them. These are the only ones I got so far. I got the Spidey T-shirt and this one, but they're like I said, it's done through a company called Fourth Wall. They send out this stuff to whoever buys it. So it's all through them, but I get a small portion of it. And we put all the stuff to giveaways and stuff like that. So the more we're going to give away something every 1,000. I already said that every 1,000 until we get to 10. And then maybe we'll do like 1250, depending how fast we're going. So I don't ship it. So they ship it. That's what I just said to you guys. So whatever the shipping is through them, they have it. It's whatever real shipping is. Like I know I bought 2 shirts recently from them, 2 shirts with tax, 17 each, with tax and shipping was $41 and change. $41. So add that up. That's 34 plus tax plus shipping was 41. That means I paid like $8 with tax and shipping. So that was good because they're not heavy, right? The t-shirts. The sweatshirts are cool. It might be a little more if you ordered a bunch, but whatever shipping is, they do it, which is not a hassle for me, which is great. By slimming down your collection and you're moving it to fewer books or moving some money out of your collection. So yeah, I'm moving to fewer books and I'm moving some money back into my pocket. You guys know if you watch Flex Bottoms, I've got a Superman one. You guys know I got a Batman one. Superman one is missing the cover. It's a reproduction cover. So that's why it was a lot less money, but still I needed to put some money back in the bank. So I want to hold on to the books that are meaningful to me. So I'm doing ASM 1 to 300. That's going to stay. Excuse me. I got my AF-15, my Hulk one, ASM 129. You guys know I'm a big Punisher guy. Hulk one, I said, my Batman, my Superman, and a couple other books here and there. Like I got a Batman 121, the first Mr. Freeze. I'm going to keep that one. But just some of the slabs I have back there. Like I have an ASM 316 98. I'm going to sell that with the Venom label. It's awesome. I haven't listed it yet, but I will sell it. A couple other keys out there that I will sell. Just slimming down, getting some money back. Shay, thank you, buddy. I really appreciate that, man. They are cool. They're very cool. They are really awesome. If you're a hero, like if you're a certain, like you love a character, like I could do like Silver Surfer is one I might do, Iron Man, Thor. I didn't want to go nuts for like the first wave. And what I will do if orders like are well, I'll sell out like a character. Like I won't do it anymore for you guys. So if you buy like a Doctor Doom, like I'll keep it available for like a limited number, and then that's it. Then it's gone. And then maybe I'll do like a Silver Surfer, and I'll throw that up there. So I'll make it limited. The more we sell, I'll keep it at a number saying only certain amount can own that shirt, because now you're a part of like, our history here at the channel. I thought that would be cool. Luis Pagan Ponce, how you doing, bud? Question for you, brother. What do you think of dealer that berates a customer looking for a price reduction that points out ridiculous flaws on a 9.8 CGC graded comic, saying he knows nothing? I think that if it depends on first of all, anytime you're berated by anybody, I'm not going to, that you don't stand for that being a business, right? So if you're a dealer, you're a business to me. If it's a seller, if it's a fellow collector, I still wouldn't do it. It's not right. You don't need to act like that. But if you're a business, I don't know why you'd berate anybody. That's insanity. I work at a business for my regular job, and I would never go nuts on somebody unless it was called for. Like if someone was out of control and out of line, like with the words they use, and that's not saying, well, you did this, you did that, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about like cursing, stuff like that, being extremely disrespectful. And that's one thing. But if someone's pointing at a flaw in something, or if you did something wrong and they act like an ass and they berating, that's insanity. That is insanity. It's an easy way for me to say that you should never buy from that dealer again. Why would you want to be treated like that? No one should be treated like that ever. If there's a flaw on a 9.8 book, that's on CGC. And it's a CG graded book, that's on CGC. And we all know that's part of the issue, especially with modern stuff, because they're all over the place. They're all over the place. I think for the most part, my experience has always been good. And I said that on my rant video. My experience has always been good. Like with grading, I may not have agreed with something, but it wasn't egregious. It was I've never had an egregious thing happen using CGC, but other people have. And I think a lot of it comes from the moderns. Dude, the Hulk versus Thing one, when I saw it and I played around with designing it, it really was awesome, because that's from the actual the book, right? The cover of that book, the Hulk versus Thing book. It's just a little bit more cartoonish, but it's just absolutely beautiful. And I designed all these myself. So like not the the photos of the characters I stole, and I took it off the internet, and then I made sure they were incredibly great, like the pixels, so they weren't like fuzzy or anything. And then I put the logo through and made sure everything looked right. So it took some time, but I think they came out great. Of course you do, man, because you're awesome. I still have the OG shirts at mightycollects.com if you guys are interested. They're the same shirts. They're Gildan 67,000 or something, 6,700. It's the same shirt that these are printed on. They're extremely comfortable. I had them originally printed on different shirts that I didn't like the way they felt. They feel great. That's why I switched them over, and that's why there's only 5 colors, because I want to make sure that they fit well and that they look good. So that to me was a priority. It is, dude. This thing is awesome, because I've also washed this thing numerous times already, because I've had it, because I wanted to test it out. And the thing is still on. It still looks good. It's bright. It's vibrant. Totally worth it. Totally worth it. And the sweatshirts are $39, and I only have the Spider-Man one right now. If anybody wants like a sweatshirt with a different character, let me know. I'll mock it up, because I still have all the templates available, so I can do it. So if you drop me, DM on Instagram, mightycomics_collectibles, or just email me, it's in the description of every video. And I always answer every email. The Punisher one is awesome, dude. That was one of my favorite ones. You put that on a black shirt, it's gonna freaking look fire. I ordered that one. I'm gonna order them all, but I ordered like a little bit at a time because I wanted to see how it worked as well, how much they would charge for shipping, how much up. So I do it a little at a time just to see how it all works, and I haven't been disappointed yet. My friend Danny, he got some shirts in. I know he posts them on Instagram whenever he buys his stuff. He posts on Instagram for me. He's a big supporter. So, oh, you pick one up, Jim? Thank you, man. I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you so much. We picked up the Batman. That's the newest one, man. It's awesome. I think it's a Jim Lee Batman, the picture. So one of my favorite Batman. That was a harder one to find a really good picture of Batman because I didn't want to go total old school Batman. I tried to find like a Neil Adams one. They didn't have it. So I went with the Jim Lee one. I thought that was pretty good. That Hulk thing graphic is awesome. P.S. Don't send your kids to school in that Punisher shirt. Yeah, probably not. It's only available actually in adult sizes, so they wouldn't fit them. My younger one wants a Spider-Man one, but I didn't make him in kid sizes yet. I figured let me see if this becomes like adults want to wear them. I figure if the adults want to wear them, the kids are definitely going to want to wear them. They're just cool. Like if you sport your favorite character and the channel, like those about the both worlds. The ridiculous flaws being multiple color breaking spine takes and a crease on a first appearance of Ashoka. I mean, if there's spine ticks, how the hell is it a 9.8? Unless there's something, unless like the publisher said, like this is the standard of that book because they had an issue printing it or whatever. Like that should not be. No, but either way, you can't berate a customer. There's just you can't do it. That's crazy. Here's a question: do you think TV movie based specking is good for the hobby long term? I actually it brings people into comics. So I do think it is good because it gets people who weren't normally into them growing up. If they go out and enjoy a movie, maybe they're thinking to themselves, wow, you know what? I really enjoyed that, and then they start reading some of the newer books and then maybe, oh, you know what? How do I get this character? Is the first time he appeared in a comic. They look at the prices, they start getting into it a little bit. That's all it takes is to get something like that into the hobby and it brings up the prices of the books. Now that may be good or that may be bad depending where you are in your collecting journey, but either way, I think it's a good thing if you do that. If you're specking, my issue is this with spec is that it's what you're specking on. Like I know a lot of the Star Wars stuff, it's crazy. It's crazy. $2,000 for a 9.8 book of a character I've never heard of. Now Star Wars is huge. Now, if you told me that I can go out and get a 9.8 first appearance of Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader, that's a different story because those are iconic. Even I know them because I watch Star Wars, of course. But for some of the newer characters, if people aren't in or not crazy Star Wars fans, haven't been watching it, they think that price is nuts, like me. But I do think specking on certain things. The problem is that I think everything that can be spec'd on has been spec'd on already. When we're talking about bronze, silver age, stuff like that. Of any of the stuff that I want to spend money on. Like if you're going to buy like a Silver Age book of a minor character because you hear it's going to be in a movie, I'm not sure that's a good investment. I'm not sure I'd want to spend that money unless you plan on selling it when you get confirmation. So if you hear a rumor, buy it, and then a confirmation and it goes up and you want to sell, like I said, I'm not going to stop anybody from making money, but it's a risk. It's a big risk. $41, you can buy a single t-shirt in store for less than that. Haha. I agree. That's why I said I'm not doing this to make money. I'm doing it to provide good quality stuff to everybody out there. So $41, man, for 2 t-shirts, including shipping. And I'm in New Jersey, so I don't know where they're located, but that's all it is. Limited edition. That's right. And I put on there quantities, limited quantities just for that, because there is limited quantities. I'm going to do, depending how many that I sell of each one, we'll see where we get to, but that might be cool. Limited. I'm selling my Detective Comics number 298, Silver Age Clayface, CGC 5.0, trying to get an Iron Man 1, put some money back into my pocket. Not trying to promote or channel. Sorry if I seems like I am. No, I don't care, man. Now's a good time to sell that book because there's a big rumor out there saying that Clayface is going to be in the next Batman movie with Matt Reeves directing and Robert Pattinson. So there's a rumor out there. The issue is that they're not saying if it's going to be the Clayface from the Bronze Age or Silver Age, whatever it is. No, I think it's bronze. Is it bronze? I think it's Neil Adams, right? So it's got to be bronze. Or the Golden Age clay face. So they're two different clay faces. So it was a Golden Age one and a I think Bronze Age one that I'm not sure which one they're going to use because the Bronze Age one is kind of hard I think to do on the screen, but I'm sure they can get it done. And the original one was just a guy wearing a mask. So we'll see what they actually do. But I think it's a good time to sell that book right now. So excuse me. Any more questions? I'm here for you guys to hang out. It's 8:10. I'm gonna stay on for probably, man, it's been an hour already. Shit. For a little bit long. I'll stay on as long as you guys have questions. If not, I'll probably bail in a little bit. But what did I want to tell you guys? Oh, when I went to the price increases, I went through CBCS. Hot comics right now. DC, some DC books are hot right now. Some are not. Watch the eBay sales videos because that's where we kind of get into some of the stuff. I do take requests for the eBay sales videos. So I have somebody who requested a Spawn #1, 9.8. We're going to look at that next week. So, but a couple other out there. If you guys have requests, put them out there and I will do it. Somebody else asked for a Giant Size X-Men 1. We're going to do that as well. Silver Age, Matt Hagen. There you go. No, I haven't gone over the hot comics. So the hot comics are more like a question for you guys. Like what's hot right now? And we do the hot 10 breakdown of the week every week, but it's been very Star Wars heavy. It's been very DC heavy. And some of the books I don't think should be hot. Like there should be some Golden Age stuff that's hot right now. Classic Superman covers, classic Batman covers. A lot of people are trying to offload some of the stuff right now that have been in comic collecting for a while. But like I always say, DC keys are not all created equal. So you got to be very careful. What else is hot? Silver Surfer books are not hot, except for Silver Surfer #1. It seems to be picking up a little bit of steam, in my opinion. ASM 129, somebody just said, got a little bit of a bump because John Bernthal. Again, Bronze Age keys have come down the most, I think, right now. So, but there's certain ones starting to push up again. You guys know there's 5 that I like, only 5 that I would buy and spend good money on. Anything else like you want to buy because you want to be my guest, but good money. ASM 129. Giant Size X-Men 1, Hulk 181, Hulk 180, and Marvel Spotlight 5. I actually like Marvel Spotlight 5 the best out of all of them, and ASM 129 second, because if you go through the census numbers, they have the lowest census count. And it's harder to get a higher grade copy because of the black cover. And Ghost Rider's still going to show up in the MCU at some point. We already know Punisher's coming. We know the X-Men are going to show up at some point. They're all great books to buy. Hulk 181 has gotten crushed. I know everybody wants one. That's fine. But it's still, I'm still saying it's not a good time to buy that book. If you want to buy the bronze, I'd probably go after the Spotlight 5 and the ASM 129. It's just my opinion. But Silver Age books, what's hot right now? Tell me. I don't know. Nothing. Nothing's hot. On the eBay list, we did some of the Silver Age first appearance of the Batman villains and this Silver Age. They're all cool. They've cooled off. Everything's coming down a bit, even in DC. Like the obscure DC characters are going up, not the main characters. Showcase 22, first Silver Age Green Lantern. That book has gone up. That's a big one that I actually like. It's a lot of money, but that one has gone up. The Flash one, 4, is really expensive. So hard to find. I want to watch that book and see what it does after this Flash movie. If it goes up, if it does nothing. For 20 years, that book has done nothing. Nothing. Hasn't gone up at all. So I don't know what's hot right now. Not too much. Outside of obscure DC keys or Star Wars. That's what's hot. And that's unfortunate. I hang on to my books, so let them become more affordable so I can pick up more. Hey, and that's part of the hobby, right? That's why I said to you guys, like, if there's books out there you want, now's the time. If you're willing to hold them, now's the time. Even if they come down a little bit over the next couple of years, they're not getting cut in half. Like the books that already come down 30%, I think those are the time. Now is a good time to buy them. The books that have come down 50 to 60%, if you're willing to hold, now is a great time. If you're not willing to hold, you might want to hold off because they've gotten crushed. Why have Silver Surfer books got crushed almost 60%? FF48 is down 60%. Makes no sense. I have no idea why. It does have a decent amount of copies for a Silver Age key, but to be crushed 60% where it was, it's unjust. It doesn't deserve it. What do you think about the new CGC grading guide? They have muddied the waters to avoid accountability, in my opinion. I haven't read it, but it's somebody who I'm friends with here in the area has it, and he said he wanted to loan it to me, which I may actually take a look at it and agree to that. The one thing I'll say is this: everybody's telling me that CGC has now changed the way they're grading. A lot of the stuff they're considering restoration, like cleaning and stuff like that. You should be able to clean your books without getting restoration, as long as you're not altering the book. Cleaning the book with by yourself with water or something like that, that's not restoration, but they're considering it restoration. So I actually reached out to Matt Nelson, the president of CGC, 3 weeks ago. I had purchased a book that was a green label because it has a married cover. And it was already a green label when I bought it, so I knew that. But I reached out to him and asked, you know, can this book be switched over to a blue label? Because in the past, I've seen books that said married pieces, but it come back a blue label. But this one, because it was a married cover, was a green label. Now, I emailed him saying, hey, could we get this switched out? If I paid for it to a blue label, it could have the same notations. It could be still say married cover. And his response was, no, it can be not changed to a blue label because it has a married cover, and that's always the grounds for a green label. Now, I did my research, looked around, checked eBay for books that had married pieces, married covers, and I couldn't find a book that said married cover that was a blue label. So he might be right. But there are books with married pieces on the interior that can get a blue label. Does that make any sense? So a book can have a blue label with married pieces on the interior, but a book that has a married cover can't. It has to have a green label. That makes 0 sense. 0 sense. So it just, there has to be accountability. And you hit it right on the head, Lewis. Has to be accountability. And when there's a mixed mosh of information out there, they grade book one way, one book another way. And then they raise prices and eliminate a tier. But this just doesn't make sense. Just doesn't make sense. Agreed. Everything is all specced out. I'm close to being done with collecting. One book I like is Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes #1, Hughes. This one doesn't seem to ever drop in price. And like I said, some books are holding steady just because of demand and how many copies out there. Don't give up on the hobby, though. If you enjoy it, do it, but just do it in limited fashion, right? You don't have to spec on everything. You don't have to go out and buy the hot book of the week. That's why I do the hot 10 breakdown, because I want to show people how much some of these books are going for and not to spend the money. If you enjoy a character and you want to buy a book that has that character in it, go for it. Don't let anybody tell you different. But don't buy a book because someone else says to buy a book, right? If someone says a book's hot, don't listen to them. Someone says a book's not hot, don't listen to them. Some book says goodbye, don't listen to them. If you like the character and you like the price and you do your homework, then buy the book. Aaron, how you doing, bud? Generally, Bronze Age has a way higher population of books than Gold and Silver. Of course. I mean, that Hulk 181, the last time I checked, there was like 17,000 graded copies out there, not to mention all the raws. So you got to figure the book's way over 20,000. And now you got to spend 4% just to grade it in any grade, because that book in any grade is over $1,000. Not going to find one under 1,000. It's crazy. Holding my 181 because I'd love it, but sold my others to pocket some cash and get Silver Age books that I like and are more rare. And that's the way to do it. If you love a book, like AF-15 is not my most valuable book, but it's the book I love the most because it's the first Spider-Man. It's signed by Stan Lee. Like that means more to me than anything, that Stan signed that book because it was the greatest character he ever created, along with Steve Ditko. But it's about love and it's about history. And that's what I think a lot of people forget when they get into this thing. It becomes about spec and it becomes about the hot book of the week. And I think it drives away collectors, and we don't want that. We want to bring new people in there so I can go out and meet new people that love the same things that I love, and then we could talk about it, right? That's the best part of being a collector, especially now with the way things are in the world, where you have YouTube and Instagram and all this other stuff out there that you can communicate with people. How many people have I met just doing these live streams or on Instagram or through the YouTube channel? I mean, I would have never met half of my really good friends that are out there right now. So it's, I mean, good case in point, Errol, who lives in Australia. I would have never met him, right? He lives on the other side of the world. It would be interesting to know the data on how many collections are lost on a yearly basis due to flooded basements, natural disasters. Yeah, you can't quantify that, right? And there are still collections coming out of the woodwork. We all saw that Superman selling Superman stuff, right? When that movie comes out, of course I'll watch it. But that story, that collection was uncovered, earlier this year, and it's like one of the greatest collections you'll ever see. So you don't know when you're going to see this stuff that was damaged, stuff that people throw out, stuff that people are still hoarding in their basements or their attics. There's stuff still out there. Granted, they may not be too much, but there's definitely still stuff still out there. Robert, what is this in reference to? What? A lot of those 181s may be cracked, repressed copies, but we'll never know. Some of them are, but I don't think most of them are. There's so many copies of that book because it's a great cover, popular character. There's just a lot of copies out there. Some of them are definitely crack and regrades, but not more than 10%. What's crazy was 10 years ago, my LCS had a 9.6 white page Hulk 181 5500. Imagine buying that book, 9.6 white pager. Wow. I think a 9.8 just sold for 75,000, and that's low considering the year before. I think it was, I want to say it was 150 off my head, but I could be wrong about that. But wow, 9.6 white pager, $5,500. Now that's like a 6.0 or 7.0, right? Actually, I saw somebody list a 7.5 for like 7,700, which I think is still overpriced for that book, considering the amount out there and that everybody's trying to sell them right now. And that because when more of the same book flood the market for sale, it just drives down the price. Drives down the price of everything. The one thing I did wanted to mention to you guys was that I am selling books, right? So if anybody is interested, I was going to show some books. I'm probably not doing it tonight now because we already went on here an hour, but I was thinking about doing I'm doing that show on June 24th and 25th. I'm thinking about doing like a live YouTube sale. I've done one in the past, like years ago, sold some books. But I thought maybe giving you guys a crack first if you guys are interested in buying. Nothing crazy. I mean, there's some slabs behind me I could sell too, but I have like 3 short boxes of books that I'm bringing with me to the show, like right here. So if you guys want to crack at those things first, and some of them are like $50 books, $40 books, $5 books. So if you guys want to crack at them first, let me know. And if you're watching this on the rewind, drop me comments down below saying, yeah, I want to crack at them. So I'll do like a live show. I'll do another like live Instagram sale. I'll take down those books and I'll show the books on the wall as we go for cheap, because it's cheaper for me to sell it on here than to sell it anywhere else. So if anybody's interested, comment yes, comment down below, leave comments on the video. Wow, an ASM 300 9.6 for 2,000. Another one, that's insane. Like a 300, that's a 9.8 at one point was like, at one point that book was $9,000. It's dropped down to 4,000 now. That's how much of a haircut that book is taken, because there's just a lot of copies. So a 9.6, it's got to be, I would think, be over 2K. But yes, imagine for 200 bucks, that would be a steal. Most common 181 is a 7.5. I didn't know that. Even with the pullback, it's still a 4,000 to 5,000, better than it was 10 years ago. Now, again, I just saw a 7.5. Somebody listed it for 7,700, which is insane. 4 to 5, I actually think that's a pretty good price considering for 7.5. It's pretty high grade. I like to buy comic books from you today. Yeah, I don't think I have enough time to break everything tonight, but I will drop like a video if you guys want, like another live stream. I'll come on. We'll just do selling, and I'll just show it to you. You don't have to buy it, but I'll show it. And if somebody wants to claim something, I've done it before. You just do a PayPal thing, or I send you an invoice after the fact. Cool. So we got 3 yeses so far. There he is, the man. Dude, I saw you guys with your rig for your video. I wanted to reach out and ask you, where did you get that rig? Because it's awesome. You guys don't follow Two Brothers Comics? Very, very good YouTube channel. Very good. They're outstanding. So go follow them as well. They're very, very entertaining. Both of them, both brothers. But they have an outstanding camera and a setup rig that I saw that is just phenomenal. Thanks for joining the chat. Even though I never know which one of you guys is saying hello or commenting. So
Love to see what Silver Brush you have to offer. Dude, I have some Silver Age Hulk that I know I have for sale, which to me, I love Silver Age Hulk. Um, anything after 102. I like 1 through 6 as well, but obviously, but 102 and on was what I have. I have some Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, but it's 300 and above, 301 and above. I have keys in there. I have like somebody just bought off my website the first Dazzler I had in there to bring to the show, but they bought it already off the website. I have other first appearances in there. 100%. I have like a half a short box of first appearances. I have minor first appearances, number 1 issues. So yeah, we get 3. Robert, that's 4. It says Dustin. There you go. Thanks, buddy. I never know which one of you guys it is. But yeah, dude, they're at a convention right now. When they put out a video, go watch it because he's got a boom mic, he's got the camera. So this video is going to be freaking tremendous when he comes out. So make sure you sub to them as well. But yeah, you know what? We got 4 likes. Anybody in the rewind, go down and afterwards comment, hit that like button too, guys. Get this video out there because that's the faster we get to 5,000 subs where I can give this stuff away. So make sure you do that. And like, again, check out the link for all the merch, the new great shirts that we have. But yeah, we'll definitely do it then. We'll set up something. The show is June 24th, 25th. So either I'll take a Friday or a Saturday night or at a Sunday afternoon and we'll do it. You guys let me know what day works best for you. I could do anything. Obviously, if it's a Sunday afternoon, we can go longer. The Friday night and Saturday night, we kind of have to like keep it within a certain amount of time frame to keep it to, or else we'll be here all freaking night. Some of these live sales are, you go on and on and on. But I go quick. I thought about using Whatnot, but I do have an account there. I've sold there before, but I like the YouTube and Instagram live feed. I think it goes quicker, it's easier, and I'm not paying anyone else percentage. So I can give you guys better deals too. So again, we'll do that. We'll definitely do that. They're all priced and ready to go too. So that's really what I wanted to talk about tonight. So if there's any other questions you guys might have, I'm here for another couple minutes, and I'll stay as long as you guys have questions. If not, we'll call it a night, and I'll get ready for the live sale we're gonna do. That should be fun. Maybe we'll do something like I'll give like a book away for like whoever spends the most stuff, something like that. We always could do something fun stuff like that. So maybe do like we did like a number game the last time I gave the last thing away on a live stream. Maybe we'll do something like that in a live stream as well. So whoever gets like the closest to the number, we'll give something away. That's a good one too. So we got a pretty good people in here for a Friday night, almost 30 people. Very, very good combo tonight. We hit a lot of great topics like the CGC price increases, the CBCS grading guide. The raw grading that they have is an option for people now. We talked about the label, how they should change the label. So I'm just recapping the hot comics, Star Wars, and of course, obscure DC. And I say obscure because they're not their major characters, right? They're great characters. Don't get me wrong, but the obscure characters right now are the books that are hot. So. All right, guys, I'm ending the stream because I don't see any more questions coming through, but I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. This was fun, especially for an impromptu live stream. I really had a great time. And thank you for anyone who bought anything off the store. Like I said, I stand behind the shirts. I think the prints are great. They look great. They feel great. So support the channel if you guys can. I really appreciate it. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. Let's give this Iron Man one away so we can pick up the next thing and something that's going to be even bigger. Obviously, we'll try to go bigger and bigger and bigger every one if we can. So again, thank you guys for joining me tonight. Appreciate you guys. I hope to talk to you guys soon. It's Lawrence over at Mighty Comics, the Collectible, saying thank you for watching. And I'll talk to you guys soon.